Hey guys, it's Kevin Kreider. More than just muscle. In this video, this is going to be intermittent fasting made easier and the mistakes that I made. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is a restriction of food so you can be in a fasted and slight ketogenic state for about 16 to 24 hours in a day, and then you have a feeding window. It can vary from 4 to 8 hours or even 10 hours for a feeding window, depending on what variation of intermittent fasting you choose. Number one, the mistake I made, which you can avoid, is that I did a water fast. I did a complete water fast where I didn't have any coffee or any teas or even lemon water, and I just avoided everything. I would barely even have water because I was like, oh, it's fasting, you're not supposed to have water either. So I would just basically make it really hard on myself, and I would end up a little bit dehydrated too because I was afraid of drinking even water too at the same time. And that's a really strict fast. But what I did was I even had a little bit of water, but I didn't know you could have endless amount of water too. And it's really important to stay hydrated during intermittent fasting. So that's a mistake, and it can make it easier for you to adhere to. Number two is that I tried eating super clean on this. Now, what's the problem with this? With intermittent fasting, when you try to eat super clean and only whole foods, it's not very calorically high and it's very dense. So you'll end up eating very little amount of food because you have a shorter window to actually eat, and you get fuller faster too when you eat just basically baked chicken and a little bit of rice and some vegetables. Your caloric intake is gonna be super low, so you're gonna be super lethargic too, and you're gonna be wondering why your energy is lower and you're not losing any body fat because your metabolism starts to halt and it slows down, and you're not gonna lose more body fat after the initial boost of fat loss. So you will actually end up feeling worse because you're just so deprived of energy, because intermittent fasting allows you to eat more calorically dense foods and in a shorter period of time. And because you're eating super clean, you're just not gonna eat as much. Instead of being at a 500 calorie caloric deficit every day, you might end up being at like 1,000 or 1,200 caloric deficit every day. And initially you'll lose a lot of fat, but eventually you're gonna just hit a wall. Your hormone levels are gonna drop because you're not getting enough fats in there. Your calorie intake's super low, so your energy starts to your energy starts to get lower, and you just will come to a halt and you get really angry very fast. Number three, I didn't give it enough time. I only gave it about 2 to 3 weeks because I was like, oh, I'm getting results, but I'm afraid I'm gonna lose muscle. Fasting causes muscle loss. You see it all in the magazines. Have protein every 2 to 3 hours. Wake up in the middle of the night because you don't want to be in a fasted state and you'll lose muscle protein, and your body starts attacking the amino acids and using it for energy through gluconeogenesis and all this kind of stuff. Okay, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. It usually happens after at least 24 hours of constant fasting. And the thing is, we're doing a modified version of fasting. It's called intermittent fasting. So what you want to basically do is just ease your way into it. Really, you're just skipping breakfast. And what that allows you to do is your hormone levels shift. You're all of a sudden letting your sympathetic nervous system kick in, which releases epinephrine, norepinephrine. Growth hormone levels start to increase. You get sharp focus eventually over time. But you're used to basically having an insulin surge first thing in the morning because you have breakfast, and then you start to kick in the parasympathetic nervous system, which gives you a little bit more lethargy. It's your food digesting, your insulin rises, so your growth hormone levels shut down more. To give your body enough time to readjust that. You've had about X amount of years of eating a certain way. It's gonna take a little bit of time for you to get to the other side, which is the benefits of intermittent fasting. Give it at least 30 days to try. Now guys, I eventually messed up with intermittent fasting. I was getting great results. Number four is that I didn't track my calories or macros. I ate whatever I want. And now here's the thing, for fat loss, all you have to do is worry about the caloric intake. For physiques and basically trying to get aesthetics, macronutrient ratios do matter then at that point. So example, if you're a physique competitor, macronutrient ratios definitely matter. You want to get enough protein to the ratio of carbohydrates and fats, and depending if you want to take a step further based off your body type, it changes. So you really want to keep track of your caloric intake, because what I would end up doing then is going to all you can eat sushi buffets and steak buffets and just keep eating within this time frame. And I did eventually gain some body fat. I abused it. So keep track a little bit, especially in the beginning. Get used to eating the same amount of foods. But the thing is, what intermittent fasting does, it allows you to eat a variety of great foods and stay consistent with it every day until you get a hold of it, until you start losing body fat and gaining the physique you want. Number 5, the 5th mistake is that I thought it was a diet. It's not a diet. It's just a way to structure your food to make your current way of eating and the diet that you're on, if you choose to be on a diet, more enjoyable and flexible for you. It gives you because you're only fitting your meals into 2 meals and all the calories into 2 meals instead of 3, 4, or 5, you end up eating more foods, because I found that at times, there were times where I was like, oh my God, should I have this burrito, this burgers and fries, or should I have the chicken salad, chicken with salad? And I was like, I looked at my tracker and I was like, wow, I think I need the burgers and fries because I need more calories today. So that's how you opt into more foods that are good for you, / more foods that aren't really that good for you, but you need the calories. You gotta make the trade-off and the decisions in that moment for yourself. But that is a mistake that I made, is that I thought it was a diet, just like everybody else did. And I was like, oh, this is a fad diet. What's gonna happen? What are they gonna tell me not to eat? And what are they gonna tell me what to eat? This doesn't tell you what not to eat and what to eat. It's just a way to structure how you eat. That's all it does. It doesn't tell you to do anything else. It's all up to you, because you can do intermittent fasting for fat loss. You can do it for mental power. You can do it for bulking. It's a great structure that makes it into your lifestyle, which I love about intermittent fasting. And number 6, this is a doozy. I drank too much coffee during intermittent fasting. I drank too much coffee because I was like, oh, it blunts my appetite, it feels great. I'm just gonna keep drinking coffee all throughout the day, maybe even do a warrior diet style where I only eat 1 meal a day, but I'm gonna have like 6, 8 cups of coffee all throughout the day. Problem with that is, too much caffeine will raise insulin levels. About 200 milligrams of caffeine will start to raise insulin levels, and you might as well just have carbohydrates or any type of food. So I really recommend keeping your caffeine intake below 200 milligrams unless you're about to work out and you're about to be in a fasted state and you want to work out, so you can go a little bit higher with the caffeine because you're about to break your fast anyway. And because you're working out, you're getting a little bit more insulin sensitive. And by the time you have that first meal, you're insulin sensitive, everything's heightened, and you can absorb all that food. And it's just a great thing to notice, is that too much caffeine can mess you up a little bit, and then you become dependent on it. Then the caffeine and coffee don't do the same effects, like kicking your sympathetic nervous system, which is more energy, and it will also then reduce your food cravings. But then you get used to it, and then the same amount of caffeine doesn't reduce your food cravings. So I recommend not having too much coffee, about 2 to 3 cups at the most while you're doing intermittent fasting. And then maybe a little bit more right before you work out on the days that you work out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an awesome free book. It's called the Intermittent Fasting Handbook, Fueling Muscle and Strength. You can download it in the link above. It's free. This is a free ebook coming right into your hands and into your computer or whatever laptop you choose. It's free to take, and it'll guide you how to do intermittent fasting better based off the time and day that you want to work out and everything. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more, and I'll see you guys next week.